welcome back to the Express at the Richmond Olympic Oval, where in 2010 the world's best speed skaters set 5 new Olympic records. Later on the show, we're going to take you inside to find out where the speed skating track is now and what's there in its place. But first, it's around the corner to the Richmond Curling Club to meet Paralympic gold medalist Darryl Neighbour.
7,000 or 8,000 people screaming and hollering the whole time.
Richmond curler Darryl Neighbour got to do what most Canadian athletes only dream about: compete at the 2010 Games on home soil, or in his case, home ice.
Every shot we made, there was a roar. It was just electric.
Neighbour and his team won the gold in Paralympic curling, but they never expected to do it in front of so many hardcore fans.
It just turned out as good as we could hope for, or better.
Big and heavy.
About 21 ounces worth.
So your piece is part of a big...
Yeah, part of a big puzzle. You can see the raven's head.
You wear it around the house sometimes?
No, but it's fun to look at.
When the gold medalist first got hurt on the job in 2000, he thought his life was over.
When it first happened, I thought it was pretty much the end. But sports was part of therapy. I found something that just came naturally to me, and yeah, I can't get enough of it.
Neighbour trains here at the Richmond Curling Club, while his team trains in their respective hometowns. But they're all on the ice from July until late April.
I basically curl 6 days a week. We all can't wait to get back on the ice.
The team will be heading to Korea for the World Championships soon. And yes, they have their sights set on the 2014 Paralympics in Sochi, Russia.
We're having such a great time that we don't want to quit. We know there's a lot of other curlers in the country that would love to take our place, but we don't want to retire just yet.
So would Team Canada consider making a fashion statement in Russia, similar to what Team Norway did here in 2010?
No, I don't think so. We'll stick to the red and white, and we'd rather make our statement with our game rather than the clothes.
I'm Bianca Solterbeck in Richmond for the Express.
That got you in the mood to watch some curling. This weekend at the Langley Events Centre wraps up the WFG Continental Cup of Curling, where Olympic curlers from all over the world are competing. Now here at the Richmond Olympic Oval in 2010, more than 100,000 people watched world-class speed skating and watched Canada win 5 medals. These days, the Oval is still drawing numbers, but from a slightly different crowd.
Whether it's working out in the high-tech fitness center or shooting some hoops in the court zone, Jeffrey Chan is keeping active all year round thanks to this world-class facility.
We've got programs for all ages. There's free drop-in classes for members, and yeah, it's pretty much everything I want to do. It's right here.
Jeffrey is one of 1,500 people who come to the Richmond Olympic Oval every day. To them, it's much more than just a community center. It's an Olympic legacy.
And it's just a great experience, right? You think about all the hardworking athletes and everything they've accomplished, and you're pretty much standing in the same space they are, so.
2 years ago, the Oval was just that, a 20,000 square meter speed skating oval that could seat up to 8,000 spectators. But when the Olympics left town, a huge transformation began.
A lot of change has happened since the game, but fortunately for us, they were all planned well in advance. I mean, the city really understood what it wanted out of this building before even the games began. The court zone, as we call it, has approximately 8 basketball courts worth of playing field. They're amazing courts. They're like NBA-style quality in terms of what we're looking at our feature courts.
Now it's where high schools and some U.S. colleges come to hold competitions. And in the spirit of the Winter Games, there are, of course, 2 full-size skating rinks.
They're used a ton daily for public skating. We have hockey games in here for the community, from Richmond minor and members of the Richmond Sockeyes and stuff practicing out of this facility as well.
But what most people come here to use is the state-of-the-art fitness facility.
It's an inspiring place to work out because you're actually watching sports and activity happen below you, so you're not just looking at yourself in a mirror.
And speaking of high tech, the Oval is also home to one of Canada's only public indoor rowing tanks, a place where competitive rowers can train under real conditions all year round.
And it's a graduated program where you learn the basics and skills and techniques here at the Oval, and then 2 blocks up from us on the Fraser River is UBC's boathouse, where then you take on the river training programs for rowing.
all under one gigantic 30,000 square meter roof, a place where gold medal dreams begin.
That's definitely one of the focuses. The Oval hopes to definitely be a medal factory for future winter and summer games,
so that the legacy of the games will live on forever here in Richmond. I'm Tim Chung at the Richmond Olympic Oval for The Express.
The website is richmondoval.ca to find out about all of the sport and fitness drop-ins. Also coming up in March, it's the National Karate Championship and the Canadian Short Track Championship. And then in May, National Wheelchair Basketball. You're watching The Express, and we're visiting another world-class venue up next.
No snow? No problem. Cypress Mountain has this $6 million machine and more.
We're looking at changing the quality for skiers and riders.
The Express, we are your local voice.
Community programming on Shaw has been generously sponsored in part by
hairstyling and color services for Shaw TV, provided by the Lounge Hair Studio. LoungeHairStudio.com.
I think the Sea to Sky Trail is very unique in the fact that people with different disabilities, different levels of disabilities, maybe not even disabilities, maybe someone with a stroller or someone who just has a hard time walking. Just having a trail of this extent, going through the wilderness the way that it does, we never get to see that anywhere, and we never get to use something like that anywhere. You don't have to be disabled, but just to be out with your friends, your family, it's so important and it's so rewarding.
When you wish for something wonderful to happen,
sometimes it can make you forget
about the needles and the pain
and get through this thing.
Forget about being stuck inside. Laugh with my family. Go somewhere really amazing and get through this thing.
The Children's Wish Foundation of Canada. Imagine the difference a wish can make.
Welcome back to The Express at the Richmond Olympic Oval. This is our post-2010 special. Now, up next, we're heading to Cypress Mountain in West Vancouver. It saw a lot of changes before the Games, and it was a hub of activity during the 2010 Winter Games. The $1 million changes, well, they are still benefiting local skiers today.
It's a perfect day for skiing on Cypress Mountain. In the years leading up to the 2010 Winter Olympics, millions of dollars were invested in Cypress in several key areas, most notably the snow.
The snowmaking system was designed for the Olympics. It was designed to put 1 meter of fresh snow kind of on the Olympic venues. And for right now, the snow guns are on, but we're not really looking for volume of snow on the snowmaking terrain. We're looking at changing the quality for skiers and riders. So when it runs kind of all night long, the next day when it's screwing nice out, it's nice velvety snow that improves your conditions that day.
And it's not just skiing going on at Cypress. You can get up close and personal with a tangible piece of the Olympics.
Those Olympic rings were actually situated at the top of the half pipe during the Olympics on our snowboard venue. We relocated them down to the base area here, and we built a little nook beside it as well this past summer. But if you're in the base area for longer than 5 minutes, you'll see people lining up to take their photos with it. So it's always a popular spot to get your photos and get your Olympic memories as well.
During the 2010 Winter Olympics, fans from around the world cheered competitors down the slopes, some of which were built expressly for Olympic competition.
Our freestyle site, which held moguls and aerials for the Olympic Games, that was a new site. It was on new terrain, so it's definitely a new venue for us. It had a great success during the Olympics, and now the Vancouver Freestyle Club is kind of training on that every weekend, Saturdays and Sundays. So a great legacy for them to train on. And the slope itself was made at a 29-degree angle. It was a perfect slope for having a mogul course on it, and they get those world-class facilities to train on every weekend.
And an amazing view, clearly, of the mountain.
Great view of the mountains, great view at night.
And after training comes downtime in Cypress Lodge.
This has been a great improvement. We went from maybe 200 seats in the cafeteria to kind of over 1,200. So big difference. Again, this timber frame structure is 48,000 square feet. It's got a pub in there that has about 208 seats, a cafeteria that seats over 620, and then an overflow area which seats another 330 people.
And the next generation is already enjoying the legacy of the Games. In West Vancouver, I'm Kendall Harris for The Express.
For more on the current programs, you can go to the website cypressmountain.com. And for more ways to feel like an Olympian, we've got your Express Spotlight.
Remember the moments in February 2010 when the city came together to celebrate and engage in a friendly competition with the world. The Museum of Vancouver showcases almost 2,000 artifacts that make up the Vancouver 2010 Legacy Collection. Tour Rogers Arena, the location that opened their doors and welcomed over 21 million people for the Canadian women's and men's hockey teams during their moments of history during the Vancouver 2010 Olympic Winter Games. Robson Square's skating rink was a center of festivities and has been hugely popular since the Vancouver Olympic Games. Gather your friends and family and enjoy skating, entertainment, and wholesome winter fun right in the heart of the city.
And that's it for today's Express from the Richmond Olympic Oval, where we looked back at the Winter Olympics in 2010 and saw what kind of changes happened with our venues and our athletes since then. Think about that. Over 80 countries represented, over 2,500 athletes, 17 days of events, and memories that will last a lifetime. Thanks for watching the Express, only on Shaw TV.